Hello, my name is Mrs. Bell, and I remember coming to visit you kindergartners in the fall. I don't know if you remember, but I came in October and we talked about pumpkins and all the parts of the pumpkins. And we talked about the fact that I am a gardener and I had pumpkins in my garden. We opened one up and inside there were lots and lots and lots of these little white things called seeds. Well, because I'm a gardener, I also like to think about planting the seeds, not just taking the fruit or the plants up and finding the seeds in them, but also planting them. And we plant seeds in the spring, and so I'm getting ready to do that. But I was wondering if you could help me find out when spring is. Now I've got some of my gardening tools. These are my plant gardening tools, but outside for my big garden, I have a shovel and a spade and all kinds of things. But I do have some seeds I collected from last year. I have some flower seeds and I have some pepper seeds from my peppers from the garden. So I collect them and then I plant them again in the spring. So if we're going to figure out when spring is, I think we need to look for some signs of spring. So we can know that there are different kinds of seasons and seasons change. They change every year. And we have 4 seasons. We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall, there are seasons 4 in all. So we just got done with winter, I think, and we are getting into spring, I think. So you can help me with that. So some things that we might look for in spring are, we might look for some flowers. Now this is not a real flower. My real flowers are outside. We're going to go outside in just a minute. This is a silk flower, but I wanted to show you this. So flowers are alive and they grow and change, and they grow and change especially in the spring. So we might see some flowers. That's a sign of spring. And another sign of spring are baby animals. Now, this is not a real baby animal. We're going to go outside and find a real baby animal, I'm hoping. But this is just to let you know that animals grow and change in the spring as well. So they're a sign of spring too. And I also have this book I wanted to show you. I'm not going to read the whole book, but I just wanted to show you some pages to help us figure out if spring is here. But this book is called When Spring Comes, and it's written by Kevin Hankes. He's the author, and it was illustrated by Laura Jonzik. Now inside, on one of the first pages, he wonders when spring is as well. And he's looking at the end of winter. I see snow, and he says the trees look like black sticks against the sky, but if you wait for it, and you can see the change in the season, wow, there's no more snow. The grass is green. The flowers and the little tiny green leaf buds are on the tree. There's baby animals and there's flowers growing. So that's a sign of spring. Here's another page. And here's another page. This is a sign of spring, the baby animals that might hatch out of the eggs. And there are other animals that hatch out of eggs like caterpillars. And this is a bird, and it grows and changes as it gets older. And also the seeds that Mrs. Bell is going to plant. So we put the seeds in the ground, and the soil, the brown soil, is starting to warm up, and it's going to be really good for the seeds. And the roots will drink the water that comes from the sky, and it will grow and change and become alive. So I thought we could go outside and see if we could find a few signs of spring. So you can help me. All right, let's go. So we are outside on my deck, and I wanted to look at one of my plants. This is a poinsettia plant that I saved from the winter. And even this is showing signs of spring. These are the old leaves right here. But if you look carefully, there are some brand new, very light green leaves that have come out from some of these little shoots. So we know that this plant is growing. And if I come all the way over here, and it's raining outside, so I don't know if you can hear it raining or see that it's raining, but we'll look over here. Oh, I see some birds. I see 2 robins that flew. They flew from the nest that's under my deck. But the grass is very green. And if you see a little patch of very light green right there, that's the brand new grass. But a couple of weeks ago, my grass was very brown, and now it's green. And the trees don't look like black sticks anymore. They're starting to get some leaves on them. All right. These are some flowers that I got at the garden center, not from seeds, but they're still beautiful. They will grow as well. All right, we're gonna go downstairs and see if we can find the robins and the nest that I wanted to show you. All right, we are outside under my deck, and it's a little blurry, and Mrs. Bell is not tall enough to reach all the way up here, but there is a nest right there, and there are 3 eggs inside. So Mr. and Mrs. Robin are going to be carefully keeping those eggs warm, and maybe shortly there will be baby robins that hatch out. So I am back up on top of my deck, and it's getting a little drippy, but that's okay. I don't mind getting a little wet. Gardeners love to get wet. And you can hear the birds in the background. And so we saw some signs of spring, so I think it's definitely time to plant my seeds. And so thank you very much for helping me figure that out. So we can hear birds, and we saw some birds. We see that the grass and the leaves have changed from brown to green. And we saw a flower on Mrs. Bell's deck that had grown a new shoot and had new leaves, so that was growing and changing. And the rain happens in spring. The air is so warm, not hot, but it's warm enough where it does not freeze the water like in the winter. If it was winter, this would be snow, but this is rain. So I think those are all signs of spring. What can you find at your house that are signs of spring? Can you look out your window? Can you go outside in your backyard and see if you can see any signs of spring? Have fun!